Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm Jay Cartere from growonyoutube.com, teaching you how to grow on YouTube and be better. And in this video, I'm going to be going over should you use a script for your YouTube channel, and I'm going to be talking about why I'm going to stop using scripts, while also letting you guys know whether that is the right decision for you or whether you should probably script your channel. Or your videos, not your channel. But see, that is something that happens when you're not doing scripts. You mess up and you get the wrong word. But we'll get into the pros and cons of doing a script and both not doing a script. So
it's been a cold winter and it's lasted far too long.
Basically, the reason why I'm going to stop using scripts is it will enable me to put out more content. And I like that. I like the idea of being able to put out more videos. Writing scripts to my videos has really hampered my ability to put out a lot of videos. I have been putting out a fair amount. I've been putting out 7 videos a week. So I've been putting out a video every day. But the YouTube tip videos, which I'm kind of focusing on right now, in addition to some of the other content on my channel, but like that's one of my series, and I've been scripting 2 videos a week for that. And I feel like if I go away from the script and I stop scripting, it's going to give me the opportunity to be putting out loads more content for you guys. Now, I may write up a bit of my video after for the sake of my my website, and to capitalize on the SEO over there, and to give a little description to what the video is about when I post it over there. But I think for the majority of my next batch of videos, like next couple months or whatever, I'm just gonna stop scripting, and I'm gonna go over some of the pros and cons of the scripts and non-scripting, and that will give you more information into why I've gone down this route. But also, I want to add more texture to my videos. I've heard a few YouTubers go over the two terms, texture versus polish. Now, texture is, you know, that realism, that authenticity, and, you know, that grit, while the polish is, you know, the polish. Basically everyone knows what polish is. So I've been trying to polish my videos, you know, a fair amount. Like, I've been making it producible enough that I can put out 7 videos a week, but also trying to polish it up and make sure that it's as professional as possible. But you know, I'm just going to be myself. I'm going to be myself. I'm not going to try and put on a professional face and try and make my videos any more professional than they need to be. What really matters is the content within there. So let's get to that meaty content, and you can make this decision for yourself and learn whether you should be using scripts for your videos or not. So the pros for having a script, let's get into that. So you have less editing when you have scripted your video. You also have easier editing, and this is because if you scripted the video and you're reading that script, you're generally gonna mess up less. Now, obviously this depends on your ability to read scripts, how long you've been reading scripts. That may change how much you mess up and how much, you know, how smooth it is. So that may vary from person to person, but generally when you're doing it off the top, or you're basically making up things on the spot, well, not making up things on the spot, but talking from your mind instead of talking from your written script, you're gonna have more chances to make mistakes. Just like, you know, that last 30 seconds, I made a couple mistakes going down the different paths when I was trying to go down this one. If I had it scripted, then you would have gotten all that information, but then you won't be getting the personality, you won't be getting, you know, the real me. I felt like using scripts really takes away from that. But you definitely have less editing usually, and it's also easier editing because you know where the piece of content is going to go. You know what you're going to be talking about, so you should know beforehand what kind of shots you're going to need, what kind of footage you need, and, you know, that sort of stuff. So you can get that ahead of time, so you won't go out, do the video, and then be like, oh, well, I forgot about that. So that is a pro of scripting. Another pro of scripting is double the content. You get double the content when you script your video. And the way you get double your content when you script your video is you can actually upload that script, depending how you write it. You can upload that script as a blog post. You may need to edit it if you're writing it like, you know, a movie script or something. But if you're doing an educational video like I'm doing and you've scripted it, then you can generally upload that as a blog post, because I write my scripts as though they are blog posts, and then I read it out and, you know, deliver the information in a video format for people who don't want to read, basically. And, you know, most people don't want to read, so I feel like all those words and all those pictures that I'm putting into those blog posts probably aren't getting a lot of eyes on them. And I feel like, well, yeah, my videos are definitely getting more eyes on them than the actual words, so that's another reason I'm focusing over there. But when you do scripts, you get that blog post and the video. You get 2 pieces of content, so that is a very, very big pro. You also get double the SEO, because you get your website SEO, because if you've used your keyword effectively throughout your script, then you get, you know, chances to rank on there. You get a little more SEO juice on your website, and you get your YouTube SEO, because you've uploaded, you know, your video, you've got your keywords in there, you've got your closed captions in there, and, you know, if you know your video SEO, then you've probably done pretty well over there, and you may be able to rank on both YouTube and your website, and that may bring in more traffic than if you just ranked on YouTube. So that's also another pro. The next good thing about having a script is if you're unsure about the topic that you're talking on, or you had to do a lot of research on that topic, then it's generally going to be better for you to have a script, so that you know you know what to say and you don't forget anything. Because if you're doing it off the top and you're not really versed in that subject, or you don't know a lot about what you're talking about, then it can be difficult to make a video on that, and you may end up making a lot more mistakes than you would have if you had just went with a script. So if you're really unsure about something, I generally say go with a script. Now, there are cons, but I have missed out another point. Luckily, I'm actually using bullet points, which we'll talk about later. But and this actually relates to the con as well, or it actually relates to the next point. The next pro is that you don't miss out any information when you're scripting your videos. When you're doing an unscripted video, sometimes you may look back at that video and you may be like, damn, shit, I really should have put that piece of information in there, or I missed out on that point, or I should have said that and I forgot to say that. That's happened to me a bunch of times, because generally I don't script my videos. But if you do script your videos, then all the information that you want to put in beforehand, you generally write that in the script, and then you perform the script, so you've got all the information in there. So there you go, there's another pro. Now let's get on to the cons. So the first con is it doesn't feel as authentic when you're scripting the videos. And this isn't going to be the same for everyone. There are probably individuals who are very, very, very good at reading scripts and they sound very, very natural. I've definitely heard individuals who it sounds like it's scripted, but it sounds perfectly fine. And I personally don't like the sound of my scripted videos. I just don't like them. I don't like them. I don't like the way that they sound. It doesn't seem like people are too annoyed by it. Like, they're getting the information that they came there for, but it just doesn't sound like me to me, basically. So, because when I write, I write different from how I generally talk. Basically, when I talk, I guess I sound more urban. That's probably the correct term to use, or the term that you guys would probably understand. But when I write, it's very much more straightforward and professional and clean. And, you know, I like my writing to be like that. That is part of me also. But I don't like trying to, you know, speak like that, because it feels unnatural. It feels like I'm kind of forcing it. So I really don't want to be doing that, and it just doesn't feel as authentic when I hear it, and it may not feel as authentic when other people are hearing it. I feel like just doing it straight from the heart or straight from the dome is much more authentic, and people can hear the passion in your voice. I don't think you can hear the passion in my voice when I'm doing a scripted video. Like right about now, you can probably hear the passion that I have making this content, because I really do enjoy making content that helps people and helps people help their YouTube channel. But that may not come across when I'm doing my scripted video. So there's another point. it also takes longer to produce content when you're scripting your videos, because obviously you have to write the script beforehand, and that takes up some time. And yeah, that's basically what you have to do. You probably will edit the script and, you know, make sure that it's right and look through it once over and do that sort of stuff. So just writing a script, writing a blog post like I do, takes longer than me, you know, just getting down to brass tacks and recording the video and just giving you guys the information straight from the fountain, so to speak. So let's talk about non-scripted videos. So if you want to go sans script, no script, whatever you want to call it, mate. Basically, the pros for that include it's more authentic, or it seems more authentic. Well, it is more authentic because you're not scripted. Like, even if you got bullet points, if you're saying these things from the top of your head, then it's things that you generally think, and you know, it's not you fancying it up or anything like that. Or maybe you are fancying it up, I don't know, but it's generally more authentic in my personal opinion, and I believe more people will feel like it seems more authentic. A lot of the YouTubers I watch, I don't believe they're scripted. Yeah, a bunch of them that I watch aren't scripted. Like, I follow a bunch of YouTube like what would you call them, YouTube advisors. I follow a bunch of YouTube advisors like myself, like Roberto Blake. Should I even put myself in the category of these guys? They're so much bigger than me, so you know, I don't want to seem like I'm too big for my boots. But Roberto Blake, I'm a big fan of him. I used to watch video creators. I haven't really been watching them too frequently recently, but they had some great stuff when I first started out. Daryl Eves is pretty good. I've just started getting into his content. He hasn't really been putting out a lot of content recently, to be honest, but all those three people, they don't use a script, and you can tell that they don't use a script because now and then they mess up and that they got their and whatnot, but you can tell that they're speaking from the heart and they know what they're talking about. So definitely that's something that I want to bring to my videos. It also takes less time to produce content because you're not writing the script, obviously, just like before. It takes more time when you are writing the script, and in my opinion, it's more fun. That's another pro. It's just more fun for me to sit down and just spew the stuff out off my brain, basically, and just let you guys know what's up, instead of, you know, having to stick to a rigid formula or a rigid plan of what I'm going to say. It's just much more freeing for me to have, you know, what I call a loose script than a rigid script, so to speak. So I have more fun with it. I think I am generally more humorous when I'm not scripted, because I don't write humor in my script, because I just believe if I'm trying to write humor, then first of all, I don't like trying to write humor. Like, it just, when I'm humorous, it's something that just comes in the moment. But if I try to write humor and then I try to perform that from reading it off the script, it feels really cringy, and it probably sounds really cringy. So I try to stay away from that as much as I can, so I can have more fun when I'm not scripting, because I can have a funny thought and just let you guys know and be like, oh fuck it, I'm just gonna say something funny now. But yeah, next point is more chance to drop gems off the top of your head. If you're not scripting it and you're having basically, this is like a conversation. I'm having a conversation with you guys. I'm not just having a rigid talk of what I've written down and what I need to communicate. I'm trying to get across all the points and all the educational points that you guys need to soak up. But also, if I'm having this conversation with you guys and, you know, something comes into my mind and I feel like that's necessary to share with you guys, and I share it, man can be out here dropping jewels, basically. So I really do enjoy that fact of doing non-scripted videos. It's also very good practice to improve your speaking skills. Speaking like this, and, you know, speaking consistently and trying to take away your ums and ahs and all those hesitation, what are they called? I don't know what they're called. Hesitation points? Hesitation. You know, when you're hesitating and you're doing an and ah, you're taking out all of that out of your speech patterns is a really interesting journey. It was an interesting journey for me, as I've really tried to stop doing that, and I believe I've gotten it quite under control. I am realizing that I'm saying too much. But that may just be where we're at with this thing. Maybe eventually it will just be clean speech, but we'll see how that goes. I'll try to cut that down a little bit. Now I'm thinking about it, I've gotten rid of the but it's interesting to improve your speaking skills, and that can also lead to you having more opportunities in the future. It could lead to better things in your life, to be honest. Like, just being able to speak better will probably improve all aspects of your life, so that's definitely a pro. Let's get on to the cons though. First con is, if you want to use your video or post it on your website, you have to, I just said, oh no. I'd still got my in there now and then. But if you want to post your video on your website, then you generally have to convert it into a post later. So you need to write up what you covered in the video and, add a little blurb to it. See, there you go. There's the and add a little blurb to it. Add more information. But that's basically if you want to rank for SEO, which I'm assuming you do. You always want to rank for SEO because that means more views, more traffic. That means more money, more success. So you generally want to rank for SEO. And the way you do that is you have to put some words in your post. You can't just post the video. If you just post the video, you might as well have not put it up. So you have to add some description with it or some words and cover what was in the video. And that is basically almost as bad as writing out the whole script, but it's not there yet, but it is still a con. There's also more editing. For example, this video is probably going to take me way more editing than my previous 2 scripted videos because I've made mistakes here and there. I've said things that I'm probably going to cut out, or I've, just said too many times like that. This is really gonna bring it into everyone's like the forefront of everyone's mind. I really shouldn't have mentioned that. You guys are gonna get on my fucking back about this. You know what? Do that. Get on my back about it. Get in the comment section and tell me that I'm saying too much in all the videos, that I'm saying a bunch of and eventually it's kind of like fat shaming, fat shaming in a good way, where you fat shame your friend and then they start being slim, or they start working out. They don't just start being slim, that's not the way it works, but they start working out and then they get slim. If you shame me and hesitation shame me, then eventually I'm probably going to be a very good speaker. Obviously, don't do it too bad, come on, don't hurt my feelings, guys. But yeah, there's going to be more editing in this video because I've made a bunch of mistakes. I've said things a bunch of times, repeated myself when I didn't have to, or messed up a sentence, and it's been saying a bunch of times, so we're gonna have to cut out those or will I cut them out? I don't know. Do you know? I don't know. But yeah, there is going to be more editing. You can also forget some information that you may later remember. As I said before, if you script it, you'll probably get that information in, or you should get that information in, unless you didn't do the scripting part to the best of your ability. But if you're doing it non-scripted and you don't have any visual aids, you don't have any information in front of you, chances are you're probably going to miss out some information, and that is really annoying. Or you might have to re-record something in order to get that information in there, or you might just put out the content without the information and always feel a little bit disappointed in yourself. So that is definitely something that can happen. So those are the pros and cons for doing scripted content and non-scripted content. But before we go into the next part about a compromise between the two, which is the bullet points, and that's what I've been using and that's what I'm going to be using, let's talk about the kind of content that I think should be scripted. Now, if you're a gaming YouTuber and you're watching this because you're watching the rest of my gaming tip vids, then you generally don't need to script your videos. I don't think there's going to be a lot of need for script in your videos unless you're doing story narrative focused type videos and other sorts of content like that. For example, if you're doing a GTA animation movie and you need characters to speak to each other, then you should probably script that. You shouldn't probably do that off the top of your head, or you can do that off the top of your head, but it's probably not going to be as good as if you scripted it or had some sort of outline beforehand. So you're generally not going to need to script your videos. If you're doing an education video or a how-to video, then it may benefit you to script your videos, especially if you're not 100% sure on what you're talking about. If you don't really know the subject like the back of your hand, you should probably at least have some sort of information there so you don't go off track, or so you kind of remind yourself what you need to be talking about, or you remind yourself of the information on that subject. But if you're doing commentaries, like just gameplay, and you're talking over it, don't script that. Like, why would you script that? I don't even think you'd be able to play and read a script at the same time. Like, that's a bit mad. If you're doing an in-depth review, I script my reviews. I don't know if I'm gonna move away from that. I really don't know. That's an interesting thing. That may be the thing that I continue to write, because I do like writing posts on the games, but I don't know. If you're doing reviews, you should have an outline of what you're going to talk about, the aspects of the reviews. There are a few reviewers that I watch, and they operate in different ways. Some of them are scripted, some of them are not. One of them that's scripted is Angry Centaur Gaming. He's scripted and he's pretty good with his script. He sounds very, very good, very professional, but I can tell it's scripted. I can tell it's scripted because the way he's saying the things that he's saying, it's just not off the top of his head. Another reviewer is Total Biscuit. I guess he doesn't count himself as a reviewer. He kind of does first impressions of games, but you can tell he's not scripted, but he is an amazing speaker, like, amazing. So he doesn't need to script it, but he's been at this for so long that he doesn't need to script it anymore, or I don't think he ever was, but he's built that skill of talking on camera consistently and playing at the same time, which is really difficult to play and talk and be entertaining or be informative like he does and analyze things. I think that's even harder, but he does it, and he does it very well. So I think just practicing either of these categories, like practicing doing non-scripted content and practicing doing scripted content, will get you to improve on doing scripted content or non-scripted content. So whichever one you want to do, I'd say do a bunch of content like that. Whether you script or not is really up to you at the end of the day, and it's based on your personal preference and how comfortable you are speaking without knowing what you're going to say. So if you don't think that you're good at that, then it may be better to start off scripted and then transition into non-scripted, or move on to the next thing, the compromise, which I'm going to talk about now, which is using bullet points. And that is what I've been doing throughout this video, using bullet points, so I know what I'm supposed to be talking about, and I know the pros and cons that I've thought of beforehand and all that sort of stuff, and I make sure you guys get the information that you came here for. When you use bullet points, you can go over every topic without missing anything. You can also still remain authentic, as you are speaking from the top of your head and it's not all planned in advance, and you can have a good content output. You can put out much more content because you're not doing these long scripts and you're not pre-writing everything. So that's what I think about whether you should use a script for your YouTube content. I hope this video helped you make your decision, and I hope it helped you become a better you today. Before you leave, guys, I want to tell you about the Grow on YouTube Gaming Facebook group. Now, this is a place where we can come together, support each other, learn about other people's experiences and journeys on YouTube, and you can ask me questions and we can have a discussion about all things YouTube, all things growth, all that sort of stuff. So be sure to click on that link in the description. Come over, become a part of the community, start to grow on YouTube and be better.
It's been a cold winter and it's lasted far too long. So all this warmth I share with you.